Namaste and welcome back everybody to our Soundarya Lahari sadhana. Last three classes we were looking into the bhavam of Saraswati in Śloka 15, 16 and 17. We finished that trio verses. Today we will go into verse 18, which is an interesting verse. It's talking about Vashikaranam. We'll see what that is. And what is the Vachyartham and what is the Vyangyartham, which is the deeper meaning. So we'll deep dive into that. Om Shri Matre Nama. May Devi's blessings be with you all. We'll begin with Sloka 18 today. It's an interesting sloka which has very interesting Vachyartham. But then when we go a little deeper, that's when we understand the real meaning of that verse. So we'll start with the Vachyartham. And it is talking about the power of attraction, the power of Vashikaranam. How can you do the Vashikaranam of other is what it is talking about. So it's talking divine magnetism. Tanu chaya biste, taruna tarani sri saranibhi, divam sarvamurvim, Aruṇimā nimagnam smaratiya, bhavantyasya trasyat, Vanaharina Shalina Nayana, Sahorvashya Vashya, Katikatina Girvana Ganika. Look at the word Sahorvashya Vashya and then Katikatina Girvana Ganika. Bhavantyasya Trasya, Vanaharina Shalina Nayana. That when you combine, it becomes Trasyat Dvana Harina Shalina Nayana. Tanu Chaya Biste. Tanu means body. Chaya means the complexion. So the body is of complexion. We know the complexion, right? We have heard this color a lot. So the color is Taruna, Tarani, Sri Saranipi. Taruna means youth. Tarani means sun. So in earlier verse, I think Sloka 16, we saw Bala Taparuchim. So there the sun was Bala, the young sun, right? Like it's all talking about the rising sun. Here it is not Bala sun, but instead it is Taruna. Taruna means Yauvanam, youth. So it is a little bigger sun than Bala Tapan. But again, rising sun, it's still red in color. So Taruna Tarani, Sri Saranipi. Usually Sarani means a path. Sri means auspicious. So Sri Saranipi, here we have to say the auspicious flow of that light. So of sun, right? So here your body's complexion is that of Taruna Tarani, the young sun, the rising suns. We know that, like there's a lot of verses that we keep hearing the color of her, right? Like Sindura Aruna Vigraham. She is red in color. Divam Sarva Morvi. So Sarvam means everywhere, everything. Samastam, Sarvam. We're all Samastam. Divam and Urvi. Divam means Akasham, means sky. Urvi means Prithvi, means Bhumi. The Samasta, Akasham and Bhumi. Aruṇimā nimagnam smaratiya. Smarati means to contemplate, to remember, to contemplate or to meditate. Aruṇimā nimagnam. Aruṇimā, again, red. Magnam or nimagnam both means completely immersed in the color red. So those who contemplate on you, means whoever is doing the smarati or contemplation on you, as what? As the entire sky, the entire earth is covered in that red, completely immersed in the red color of your chaya, your tanu chaya, your complexion, the body complexion as Taruna Tarani Saranibhi. That Aruṇimā. Young sun's color. So again, rising sun's color. If somebody is meditating on you as red color, you are contemplating Devi as the entire Bhumi is covered in that Devi's red color, entire sky is covered in that red color. If somebody meditate on that like that, so far what we have seen, the first part will say, if you do that, the second part will say, you will receive this. So the cause and effect. So first part said the cause. Now we will do the second part, which is going to talk about what is the effect. So if we do the meditation like that, then what is the effect? Bhavantyasya trasya dvanaharina shalina nayana sahorvashya vashya kadikatina girvana ganika. So for those people, asya, for that person, bhavanti means becomes. He gets sahorvashya vashya, saha Ūrvaśī. So that is sahorvashya. The saha means along with. Along with Ūrvaśī, Vashya means they will be in control in their Vashikaranam. And not only just Ūrvaśī is one of the celestial damsel. So along with Ūrvaśī, everybody, all that beautiful damsels will be under the control. And there is a description of the beauty of Ūrvaśī and other celestial damsels here shown here. That is Trasya Vanaharina Shalina Nayana. Trasya means Trasa, Varatrasatrana. We heard the word Trasa. So Trasya here means afraid, feared or timid. Vana means forest. Harina means the deer. Shalina Nayana. Nayana means eye. Shalina means beautiful. The beautiful celestial damsels, their eyes are equated to Trasya Vana Harina Shalina Nayana. So they have eyes as that of timid deer in the forest. You will see that this deer eyes are used to explain the beauty of ladies, the beautiful ladies, throughout Indian literature, especially Kalidasa. You will see this a lot in Kalidasa Kriti. So Kalidasa has used in, I think, in both the Meghdūtam and Kumar Sambhavam. Meghdūtam is a story of exiled Yaksha who is separated from his beloved wife, and he's talking to the Mekam about his Viraha Dukkam. So he's describing his wife's eyes that of likened to that of a frightened deer. He's talking about how she's anticipating his return, and her eyes are compared to that of a frightened deer. And then you would see the Kalidasa musing whether Parvati borrowed her timid eyes from this female deer, Vanaharina Shalina Nayana. So you would see this, and not only from Kalidasa, but every poet uses to describe the beauty of women. Ūrvaśī's eyes are being equated to a timid deer who is in the forest. That beautiful lady is like Ūrvaśī, who has eyes like that. Kati Katina, how many? Like so many, meaning. They becomes Vashya, they becomes under that person's control, under that Vashikaran, because of that Vashikaranam. Girvana Ganika are celestial damsels. So the verse meaning, simple Vachyartham here means celestial maidens, along with Ūrvaśī, so many of the celestial damsels, whose eyes are mirror the exquisite beauty of that of a young deer in the forest, they will all be so much attracted to that person who is meditating on the idea that both the sky and the earth are fully immersed in your radiant, lustrous form of red color of that dawn's first light, or Taruna Tarani Sri Saranipi. So that's the simple meaning. You would think that what a shallow description, right? Like, so this is simply saying that, especially for a man, that man is meditating on Devi, all the ladies will kind of get attracted to him. We saw something very similar in Śloka 11, the divine attraction, right? Here also it's the same thing, but we have to now unfold the esoteric meaning. So a little bit on the Vakyartham, a little more. So the deer's eyes, it's not just for shape and appearance. The deer's eyes are associated with the beautiful lady's eyes, but in Indian literature, it's not just because of that large, round, expressive eyes, not just for that imagery, but it is also for the cultural and symbolic significance as well. Qualities like grace, tenderness, and enchantment. So that is where that upama comes in. Now, let's look into a little bit more deeper to what this actually, this sloka is trying to convey. So we know that nobody will do anything without any benefit, right? If we take simply Mahalakshmi Ashtagam, at the end it will say, Ekagale pate nityam mahapava vinashanam, Digale pate nityam dhanadhanya samanvita, and Trigale pate nityam mahashatru vinashanam. If we chant this one time, we will have all our papam gets removed. If we chant it 2 times, then all the dhanam and dhanyam, all the resources, artham, money and dravyam, everything will be receiving. And then if we do the Trikalam, if we do the 3 times, then Mahashatru Vinashan, all our Shatrus will be destroyed. This is called a Phalasruti. So Phalasruti of all these stotras. So every stotra has a Phalasruti. What do we get if we chant this, right? Every prayer has a benefit. There is the result that we will get. Prayer is a karma. If we do a karma, we will have a result. Drishtabala, Adrishtabala, all that thing you will receive, right? Just by doing that, then if we don't have to do anything else, right? That's not what it means. Like, this is something like, of course, to attract people to kind of start chanting this is what that in order to start it, because many people do only if there is any benefit, right? So, but once we start chanting, it's like a hook it to get you, right? Like, benefit is like a hook. But once you start chanting, once you get to that spiritual level, it has much, much more benefit than simply getting Papa Vinashanam or Dhanadanyam, right? Ultimately we can go up to moksham. Here, Śaṅkarācārya also is not against the 3 other things, the Bhogam, which is Dharma, Artham, Kama, which is all combined in Tantra, usually combine it into Bhogam, and the second part is the moksham. So Bhogam and moksham both are considered as needed for in Tantra and also in Vedanta, everything, everywhere. We may be all starting with some material benefit. We will start having that prayers and to have the material benefit at the beginning, but then we will rise. Like in chapter 7, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is talking about 4 different types of bhaktas, right? Artha, Artharthi, Jitnyasu, and Jnani. So we have to rise from Artha, the one who actually is in real deep trouble, then only they will call God, right? That is the first level, first tier. And then the second one is Artharthi. So in second, where I do know that if I pray, then you will get that. So on a regular basis, I will do that. It's more of a business transaction. I will give you this offering and then please give my son an admission or give me this job or whatever that be. So it's more of a business transaction, but that is also bhakti. It's still a bhakti towards God. So that's the Artharthi. The third one is, we are climbing the ladder, right? Third one becomes Jitnyasu. He or she doesn't need anything from God, but he wants to understand more, right? So that's where that it becomes that spiritually cultured. I don't want specifically anything from you, but I want to know more about you. So that is where your sadhana becomes deeper for that third person. So many of you are kind of in that Jitnyasu stage, right? And then finally, the Jnani, who has no karma to do, who's already realized, the enlightened person, it's the Jnani. But he will have that prayer to God because he's completely realized. He's one with God at that point in time. Krishna, what in that sloka says that Jnani is the one that I like the most, but he likes all 4, the Artha, Arthati, Jitnyasu, and Jnani. All 4 of us, Krishna likes. So all are bhaktas, right? If we don't even know that God exists, then it is good to start with Artha. When I'm really, really in trouble, I'll call just God, help me, take me out of this grave situation, right? So it is good to start with. So here, Śaṅkarācārya, taking a very, very surface level meaning, he is actually asking people to start doing. If you are going to have this, all these ladies are going to come after you. So this is the Phalasruti, right? So let's start from there, right? Like maybe second one, Artharthi. So if you do that, you will get this, right? Showing that from a surface level benefit. So that is to kind of attract or let people start with that bhakti. So that is one goal of Shankara probably with this verse. But now let's go a little bit more deeper, right? We have talked about this concept before, especially these damsels and Indra. These damsels are in the sabha of Indra, the Apsaras, the Rambha, Tilotama, the beautiful ladies in the sabha of Indra. Now, what does Indra represents, right? So Indra is not somebody who is actually sitting and enjoying the beautiful dance. Yes, it is. But then Indra is the pati of Indriyas. Indriya are all our senses, right? So Indra is the mind. Mind is the one who is ruling our senses. So now there can be 2 type of people. There could be Sura and Asura. The Sura, Deva, or other name is Deva, are the ones whose Indriyas are all in control of Indra, right? Because Indriyas are all outwardly connected, right? We see things, we hear things, we touch things. So we know this universe through our Panchendriya, the five indriyas that we have. So now just imagine if we are being controlled by these indriyas. Many people, that is the situation, right? Like you start scrolling one reel, right? And then you don't know, like 2 hours just passed, you are still scrolling the reel, right? Like because there we are not, the mind is not in the control, the indriyas are controlling the mind. So two people, Sura and Asura, the Suras are the ones whose indriyas are in the control of the mind or Indra, right? And then Asura are the ones whose indriyas are in control of the mind, the other way around. Indriya rules there. So when we say Sura and Asura, the Danava, don't think of people with 10 heads. This is the same behavior in us, right? If we are in control of the Indriya, we becomes the Asura, right? So now, if we do the chanting of Devi, if we can visualize her as the entire earth. So here there is no rupa. It's simply saying that the entire earth, entire bhumi, that is immersed in red. That's it. Aruṇimā nimagna. Right? This is a visualization meditation. These are all tantric upasanas. We don't have to do the upasana, but at least to explain the meaning of it, I just want to say what this actually means. So if we can visualize Devi's color, that red color, covered everything. Like if we close our eyes, we see nothing but red color, right? If we can meditate like that, our mind becomes super laser focused, right? And Vivekananda says this, like, our success depending on our power to focus. The power to focus is how our success, especially in this era of this social media and all. So that power of attention, power of focus is an important element. So here it said that if we can focus on the Devi like that, then the mind can control our indriyas. So we won't be the slave of the indriyas. We will be master of our indriyas. Indriyas are all indriyas. We need everything. We need to interact with the world, but that shouldn't be like the situation where we are going all around without any control. So this is the symbolism you can see in the Ratha Kalpana, right? Like the 5 horses, there are actually 4 horses, I think. So because touch and taste both are represented as one. So the horse is controlled by Krishna holding the rein. So that's also the same thing. So how we can control our indriya, right? So if we can control our indriya by doing the meditation or whatever the spiritual process, that if we can control that indriya, then what happens? Everything will be in our control. So we won't be in control of something else. Everything will be in our control. So that is what this Vashya, the in control, the Vashya, Vashikaranam, it is not that like that I do this prayer and then ladies are running after me. That's not what it means. Of course, those who have never read anything, this is a good hook to call people to kind of start having that meditation or start having that upasana of Devi. And, people have to start somewhere, right? People have to start from Artha or Artharthi and then climb the ladder. Phalasruti is like a mother giving a chocolate to son for studies, right? So the mother's intent is for son to study, but the son doesn't realize the value of study. He's studying just for getting that chocolate. Right at that point. And again, mother's intent is not to give him chocolate forever, right? But as he understands that, we have to hook them with something. So the same thing that with the Phalasruti, same thing here in this verse too. So Śaṅkarācārya is not denying any of these tantric sadhanas. So there are so many. So each of these verses that we saw, one with Vagdevada in the last verse, right? So there are specific upasana that is in Tantra, in Shakteya, Sri Vidya Upasana, and very, very specific one. But all that thing, if we want to do in a proper, we need a guru. We need a diksha from guru and all that thing. But now here we are talking about, we can simply chant this verse itself to get very similar effect. And again, effect, I'm not saying that the ladies are going to run after you, but we have to think, we as a sadhakas, at least this group of us needs to think the deeper meaning, right? So here it is saying that we will become sura, meaning that the one that can control our indriyas. If we kind of go after these indriyas, we know that we will be in the pitfall, right? There are so many things that can attract in this world for us, but we know that we have to have that artha and kama has to be in the path of dharma. Then only we can progress in spiritual path. Not only in spiritual path, also in materialistic too. Like, for example, if you are set to get a PhD, right? But if you are distracted by this all social media, just distracted by so many other things that we can distract in this life, right? If you are distracted, you will not get the goal of the PhD. Or if you want to rise in wherever you are in the career, you have to set the goals and you have to be with that focus that you have to proceed. Then only you can materialistically also get, right? He's taking the parallel to meditation that is explained in the Tantra, and to tell that, if we do those, then the benefit will be these, right? So even though from a surface level meaning, this look like very shallow, but this is actually, remember, this is written by Śaṅkarācārya, who is actually the Amshavatara of Shankara himself, right? Shankara and Shiva is said. So this has to have a deeper meaning to it. So that is where the sloka is. It's more of how can we be in control of everything. So not only if we are talking about Ūrvaśī and Menaka, so those damsels of the Indras, the damsels can be in our control, then we don't have to talk about the regular physical being, right? So it's not just the ladies, but everything will be in your control, meaning you can achieve with that undivided focus, undivided attention, we can receive whatever we have put our mind to. That is what this verse is talking about. In case you are going under a guru to do any of this specific upasana, receive the diksha and do that. But for our purpose, our goal with this class was to do the sadhana of the stotra. And that stotra is just the chanting of the stotra. In order for doing that, we do need to understand a little bit of the meaning. So that is the goal of this class, to talk about the high level meaning. And all you need to do is to chant the stotra, because many of these mantras are hidden in here too. So this is actually a second kudam of 3 kudams of the major Panchadashakshari mantra in Sri Vidya or Shakti Vasana. Those ones who wants to proceed in that one, find the guru and then do that. But then for this class, we are focusing on just chanting the stotra. So always remember that the more focus, the more meditation we do, the more mind power we have, the indriyas will be in our control. And this is where we have in yoga, who is familiar with the yoga, we have yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, and then the next one is called pratyahara, where indriyas becomes our control. So here, this sloka is focusing on that pratyahara, where we can, all our indriyas, we can control, right? We are not running after each one, each things that we see, each things that we hear. We are not running after it. We are using that vivechana buddhi and to keep that focus on what we need to achieve. So that's the meaning of this sloka. So once again, look into the word meaning. Tanuchaya beste taruna tarani sri saranipi divam sarvamuvim Aruṇimā nimagnam smaratiya bhavantyasya trasyat vanaharani shalina nayana sahorvashya vashya kadikatina girvana ganika. How many people will run after this? That's what it's called. So celestial maidens such as Ūrvaśī, Menaka, Rambha, Tilotama, whose eyes mirror the exquisite beauty of timid or fearful young deer in the forest, are drawn to those who meditate on the idea that both the sky and the earth are fully enveloped in your radiant, lustrous form, which is red in color, right? Resembling the rising sun or dawn's first light.
Tanuchayabhiste tarunatharani sri saranibe divam sarvamurvi Aruṇimā nimagnam smaratiyah bhavam tasya trasyad vanaharina shalina nayanaha sahorvashya vashya katikati na girvana ganika.
Om Shri Matre Nama. Sarvam Shri Jagadambika Padaravindarpanamastu. May Devi's blessings be with you all, always.